Support WrestleTalk!
It's time for AEW All Out 2024 predictions. I'm Luke Owen, DAD. This is Oliver Davis. Welcome to the WrestleTalk channel. Please do press the subscribe button. Give us a little thumbs up as well. Leave a comment down below with what you think is going to happen at AEW All Out 2024. And make sure Make sure you sign up for Wrestle League. Compete against us in predictions warfare. Click the link in the video description down below to sign up for Wrestle League today.
Well, this guy's winning in the office right now.
You're doing really good this year.
Yeah.
This season, you're doing really, really good. I think I'm last.
Yeah, you suck. And also go over to patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Sign up there to support us, keep making these videos, and for loads more exclusive content.
Do you know what we should do?
What?
We should just make a URL that is WrestleTalk.com/Patreon.
And it redirects.
And then it just redirects.
That's a genius idea. Should we get into this all-out show?
We do.
So just 2 weeks after All In.
Yeah, we've got 8 matches to cover on this show.
For now.
But if you're looking at 8 matches, you're like, that's almost the sweet spot we've been asking for between Triple H's 5 and Tony's 15.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll go for that. But 8 used to be like a SummerSlam that was too long. Because you'd also have a couple of in-ring segments, a couple of backstage skits that could be done on Raw, a sponsor section.
Yeah, so we've got 8 matches currently as it stands at the moment. Maybe there'll be some stuff added on Collision.
Undoubtedly.
There will be some pre-show matches because nothing's been announced for the pre-show yet. But let's go through the 8 that we currently have. And we'll kick things off with Will Ospreay defending the International Championship against the Bastard Pack.
I cannot wait for it. My prediction is it's going to slap.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be flippy. Just like the brief interactions they've had on the 2 episodes of Dynamite they've gotten in between All In and All Out have been electric. That 6-man tag on the Go Home Dynamite was just wanted all of it. Definitely Will Ospreay wins.
Yeah, I think Will Ospreay retains here. These two had an awesome match in Rev Pro. Just after
what was it?
It was an awesome match.
Well, everyone booed.
Well, they booed the finish because they went to a time limit draw and everyone figured out they were doing a time limit draw 5 minutes before they did the time limit draw because all of a sudden someone was like, 5 minutes remaining.
Never done this before for any other match, but just so you all know, 5 minutes. I wonder where this is going.
But yeah, it's an awesome match they had in Rev Pro, so I think we'll probably get the same thing here as well. But I do think that Will Ospreay is retaining.
Okay, so we're the same so far.
Absolutely. That might be the case for a lot of this show, I think.
I think it's a predictable dud show following All In.
I don't think I'm not saying it's a dud show, but I think in the same way we were talking about with Bash in Berlin, which was, hey, this is a great 5-match card, but I know all 5-match outcomes going into it. That doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad show, though. And at the end, Bash in Berlin was not a bad show. It was a really good show, in fact. But we have for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, the Young Bucks defending against the Blackpool Combat Club of Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, so this was just added.
Yeah.
In quite a, not random way, but I've never seen Claudio and Yuta be a proper tag act. I thought the Bucks was
doing on Collision.
Yeah, but
and probably Rampage.
But like settling in with that FTR acclaimed Bucks 3-way thing, which I think is overdone, but I didn't expect this to be the direction 2 weeks after All In.
The only reason I thought... I'm not saying that this is a mad direction to go in, because they were definitely setting up with Claudio and Okada following the time limit draw they had in Cardiff. So I think I said on the Dynamite review then, I think we're going to be heading into Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. So I guess when he just challenged then, I was like, oh, that is just the next step of Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite.
But they've also got the Trios titles.
Yeah, well, maybe the trio, the Young Bucks and Okada will win the Trios belts off of them.
And be the tag...
Yeah, and the Continental Champion.
I thought the point was to have 2 separate, equally strong divisions.
Oh, I mean, in a perfect world, that is what we would have.
Yeah. For this, there's a very, very slim argument to put the belts on Claudio and Yuta, because then you've got even more gold in that Blackpool Combat Club faction. And I think Jon Moxley and whatever he's doing is an important factor into anything BCC related.
Yeah.
Because on that Dynamite Go Home episode, he had a moment of friendliness with the Elite.
He did.
With Jack Perry.
Of all people.
The guy who's fighting Danielson for the world title. So maybe it's useful to get the belt, the
tags.
One of the belts over there.
You want 2 of the belts. You want to win 1 of them. You don't want to win 1/2 of the tag titles.
So Moxley, how will they coexist? So Moxley and whatever faction he creates can go up against them. But I'm going to go with the Bucks retaining.
I'm also going to go with the Bucks retaining. I was actually just going down a bit of a Russo rabbit hole there of like, Russo would book that stipulation. Only one of the tag titles is on the line.
So obviously Nick Jackson holds it. Who you put him with?
Claudia?
Yeah,
of course. Yeah. Willow Nightingale defends the CMLL Women's Championship against Kris Statlander in a Chicago street fight.
As a match on AEW pay-per-view ever felt more like a Battle of the Belt show?
I mean, yeah, which is wild because this has been building for a while now to get to this point. Like, it's been building for ages, this feud.
I would prefer this feud to be a number one contenders match for the TBS title. Proper blood feud with no CMLL belt.
That's fair. Obviously, the plan was for this not to be the CMLL belt, but then Stephanie Vacour was too busy, and she was so busy with her WWE dates that she couldn't defend and lose this title to someone else.
She said recently she's on good terms with everyone.
Yeah. Did she say that?
Yeah,
did
she said it. I think it muddies it a bit. I would prefer not to have the belt involved, but I think Statlander needs the win more, and it's, no offense CMLL, but in AEW terms it's not a particularly prominent belt, so give it to Statlander. Statlander can heel it up down in Mexico as the heel women American champion, and Stokely can do his thing as well. I think that'd be an entertaining act down there.
I'm going with Willow.
Okay.
I'm going to go for a Willow retention in this one, even though I suppose they did get the win at All In to set this up to pick the stipulation, which kind of really means that Kris should win.
Where are they at in their feud overall?
So, did Willow beat her in the Owen?
Yeah, and then I think
Statlander beat her.
Yeah.
And then I think this might be the third. Is this the rubber match?
I think it is the rubber match. So Statlander. So the mixed tag, Statlander and Hathaway lost. There was a mixed tag. Oh, but that wasn't for that.
No, that was when they faced Nina Samuels.
Kris Statlander. This is top watching, isn't it? So Willow Nightingale beat Kris Statlander in the Owen back in July.
Yep.
That seems like half a year ago.
Yeah, that was only 2 months ago.
And then Statlander beat Nightingale in the CMLL World's Women's Title Eliminator, which set up this match.
Which now we're getting this match. That's what I mean, man. They've been building this match for like a couple of months now.
Yeah.
And this feud has been ongoing since before then when they did the Statlander turn.
Yeah, Willow, of course, picked the stipulation. So when the babyface picks a stipulation, usually you win. I'm going to go with Kris, though. I'm going to stay with Kris.
That's what I mean. I think you are onto something. And as I was just saying then, I think Willow picking the stip means that Kris probably should win. But I think Willow maybe is a better champion. But who knows? I mean, no one knows. We'll find out on Saturday. But I'm going to go with Willow.
I think get Nightingale back into the feud with Mone. That's the match I want to see for the TBS title.
I'm going to want to see them go into the women's world title scene.
Okay.
We have Kazuchika Okada defending his Continental Championship in a fatal four-way match. We do not know who the participants are yet because it's happening on Collision on Friday.
But definitely Takeshita.
Definitely Takeshita. So it is either, and it's probably Orange Cassidy, because it's Orange Cassidy versus Brian Keith. It's probably Orange Cassidy. And it is Lance Archer versus Mark Briscoe. I would probably say Mark.
Yeah, I would as well. He's getting the conglomeration push.
Yeah, and then it is Takeshita versus the Beast Muertos.
So yeah, it's Takeshita, Cassidy, and Briscoe.
I could see an argument
versus Okada.
I could see an argument for Lance going in there.
It's not 2020. Those four, I think, is a pretty safe bet there.
Yeah, Takeshita's definitely, because I think we're leading towards Okada versus Takeshita in a singles.
Yeah, but definitely Okada retaining. That's probably why it's a four-way match.
Yeah, pin someone else. That's probably why you put Mark Briscoe in there, so you can pin Mark Briscoe.
But Takeshita gets a good showing. That's how he gets a singles match. Don Callis arranges that behind the scenes.
I've got an alternative pitch for you. Although we couldn't talk about this on the Dynamite show as well. They're on opposite sides of the C2. And that's your C2 final.
Oh, that would be great.
Takeshita versus Okada.
Yeah.
I was about to say for something, but it's actually just a singles match. It's MJF versus Daniel Garcia.
Well, it's for someone's life, I think, because both men have talked about how they're going to murder each other.
Breaking necks.
Now, I think we're going to differ on this because I feel like Max is selling the neck injury from the Tiger Driver. I think he can use that as a reason for why he lost. I think Max losing here is more interesting for Max's character given his spiral into the fans don't love me anymore madness. And it hugely elevates Daniel Garcia. So I'm going to go for a Garcia victory and MJF disappears from TV for a month.
I agree with everything you've just said, apart from that last sentiment, because I don't think Max is taking time off TV in a time when you probably could use with Max being on TV, seeing that he's
that's fair,
a needle mover. But yeah, no, I think Garcia wins here. I think you're right, as well. I think you can use the neck injury he got from the Tiger Driver as part of the story within this match. And actually, maybe if I'm looking at it from another aspect of it, he still has not signed his contract yet as old Daniel Garcia. And what better way to maybe sweeten the pot and make him feel very special by giving him a win on pay-per-view over MJF.
And maybe Garcia could get the contract after the victory and sign it with Max's blood.
Or you just go to NXT. Off the back of a win over the former world champion. Like, cheers, Tony. Thank you for giving me the big win on the way out, the big dub on the way out.
Easy dub.
For the TBS Championship with Camille banned from ringside, it is Mercedes Mone versus Hikaru Shida. Mercedes Mone. Yeah.
Sorry, Shida. We do love you, but this is...
Yeah. I was really surprised this was not Thunder Rosa. Because we've just done Mercedes versus Shida on TV.
Yeah, and Mercedes, it was a fun match, but Mercedes beat her pretty easily.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the line could have been an email. Could have been a collision.
For the AEW World Championship, it is Bryan Danielson in his first title defense against Jack Perry.
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I think Danielson is the winner here. I've seen... there was a report from the Observer that said apparently Darby Allin is looking to be like possibly the person that does take the title off of him when they face either at Grand Slam or you delay that and do it at Wrestle Dream. But I think Danielson wins here. I feel like if it was me, if I was making the pitch here, I'd have him hold the title for a good year at this point and just constantly teasing out this next match is possibly my last match.
Don't stop at a year. 5 years.
Let's do the Ring of Honor run again. I think Danielson wins here. I thought it was interesting. So the Fightful Select report about this is that Danielson has got a hand in the creative of all of his picks for his final matches, but Jack was an AEW call.
So someone's a chosen boy.
Well, I think they quite like Mr. Perry, don't they? They always have, really, since the Jungle Boy days.
There was a period where they didn't.
Well, no, there was a period when he was a scapegoat. But I think Danielson retains.
Yeah, definitely.
Which brings us to our main event. This has been it's been really weird. So about 2 months ago, Ibu of WrestlePura said, "Oh yeah, the main event of All Out is going to be Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Page," and that led to a lot of people being like, "Well, that's ruined the main event of All In." And now all of a sudden, I'm seeing like Fightful being like, "Oh yeah, we can report that it's the main event of All Out," and then I'm reading Figure 4, and it's like, as Brian Alvarez first reported, I'm like, Ibu said this months ago. But yes, this is the main event. It's an unsanctioned, lights-out steel cage match.
Yeah.
Because they've added the lights-out stipulation following the angle from Dynamite.
So it can go on last, which is, I like that match ordering of it. I can't wait. I thought the angle on the Go Home Dynamite was one of the best villain, but maybe he's a baby face. I don't know. Is he just getting revenge? Like, at least he didn't have a baby in there. The image of Hangman Page burning down Swerve's family home, just coolly sitting in an armchair, sipping a beer.
Whiskey, I think he was drinking. It was whiskey out of a little tumbler. Crucially, not looking at it.
He's gone to the bad ways again. At least it wasn't just like a jug of blood. I thought this was absolutely incredible. I think they've just got this insane hate chemistry, and I cannot wait to see what they do. Oh, but God, who wins?
Well, this is it.
I don't know.
I think of
I
all
forgot
the
we were
matches,
doing predictions.
Of all the matches, this is the one I'm most unsure of. I really don't know. So the story going into this is that Swerve can't beat him.
Oh, yeah, without outside interference.
Without outside interference. So this is Swerve looking to prove that he cannot beat it, or he can beat him without the outside interference.
And I believe Swerve is 3-0 up.
I think he's 3-0 up. But each one of those has got the caveat of it was Prince Nana, it was the Gates of Agony, it was the Mogul Embassy. Now it is a cage match. There is no outside interference, and one of these men does have to win.
Yeah. Yeah, so they wrestled, obviously, at Wrestle Dream last year.
Such a good match.
They don't have who beat who. Cage match? Well, we know. I'm pretty sure we know. Yeah. They won, but damn.
So their
average star rating for those 3 matches is 4 3/4.
Because they're incredible, absolutely incredible, and that's only been dragged down because there's some knuckle draggers out there who didn't like the blood spots in some of the other matches. Cowards. So, question I suppose is, do you want to have Swerve win again, go 4-0 up on him, and this time he beat him without outside interference? Or do you finally give Page that win and keep that story going that he cannot beat him without the help of outside interference?
Well, I'd also add Hangman took the loss in the world title 3-way with Samoa Joe.
Tapped out so that Swerve could not get the win.
And also Hangman's side lost to Swerve's side in Blood and Guts.
Yeah.
I think
that was Jack Perry that lost that
match. I would give... I think both guys could win. I think both guys could lose. I think it's really compelling whatever you do, which is such a great position to be in as a booker. And a testament to how fleshed out this feud is. I would go for Hangman just because if Swerve does beat him, with all of those excuses removed, it doesn't make Hangman weak, I don't think, because Hangman's biggest foe is actually himself. But I would like Hangman to finally get another bit of justification. Mm-hmm. You know, what's more interesting? Swerve coming out, I beat him definitively, now I'm going back for the world title. Or Hangman coming out on the next episode of Dynamite. I told you! I told you!
In the same way I was right about him being the bad guy, I was right about this as well.
I'm going Hangman.
I'm going Hangman too.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that match.
I cannot wait for this match. Yes. I think it's going to be a really, really cracking little match. I think it's going to be violent. I mean, it has to be, right?
Oh, it could just be a straight up wrestling match.
Oh, just a little
lock up at the start.
Do a little wrist hold, maybe. But yeah, those are our predictions for AEW All Out as the card currently stands. Do let us know in the comments down below what you think is going to happen at AEW All Out, and make sure you sign up for Wrestle League as well. And if you're in the mood to click links, why not click the link to patreon.com/WrestleTalk to get loads of cool and exclusive content from these handsome chaps right here, including the start of our new journey as we review TNA's greatest rivalry, Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle. Our first episode reviewing Genesis 06 is up now live. And if you want a bit of a teaser for it, I read out my forum posts from 2006 giving my thoughts on the show in context.
Oh, it's horribly embarrassing.
It is idiotic 25-year-olds. 25? No,
I think younger, 18.
No, I've been 20. I was born in 85, so I'm 20 years old. 20 years old giving my thoughts on pro wrestling. So it's embarrassing, folks, but you can hear me read them out in full over at patreon.com/WrestleTalk. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much for joining us today.
I'll see you on Sunday for the All Out review.
Yes,
with Dan.
All Out review with Dan Layton will be here on the WrestleTalk channel. So until then, I've been Luke Cohen, DAD. That has been Oliver Davis. Jam that jam.